Witness how fragile sparks of life evolved into towering societies, hiding a paradoxical truth. The force that united us might be the one to divide us eternally, revealed in the ultimate twist. But as we unravel this epic saga, from ancient whispers to contemporary roars, a profound secret awaits, one that could redefine our place in the cosmos and challenge everything you thought you knew about our destiny. Join us on this reflective voyage through time and stay with us until the very end, where the veil lifts on a revelation that echoes across the ages in mysterious silence.
Our story begins deep in the cradle of Africa, around 300,000 years ago, where Homo sapiens first appeared. Slender, intelligent, vulnerable, amid the dramatic climate swings of the Pleistocene. Vast savannas stretched under endless skies, roamed by herds of antelope, elephants, and now extinct giants like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Small bands of 20 to 50 people, dressed in stitched animal hides, moved constantly in search of food and water. Men and women worked in complementary roles, hunters crafting razor-sharp flint points and wooden spears for coordinated ambushes, women and children gathering tubers, berries, nuts, and edible plants that often provided the majority of calories. The mastery of fire, perhaps first controlled by earlier hominids but perfected by our species, changed everything. Around campfires at night, flames warded off predators, warmed bodies during freezing nights, and allowed cooking, which unlocked more nutrients and supported bigger brains. Language likely emerged here, first in gestures and sounds, then complex words shared in storytelling circles. Human choices were survival-driven. Follow migrating herds across continents, cross land bridges during low sea levels to reach Asia, Europe, Australia by 65,000 years ago, and the Americas by at least 15,000 BCE. Yet these migrations carried costs. Overhunting accelerated the disappearance of megafauna, altering entire ecosystems. In hidden caves, artists dipped fingers in ochre and charcoal to paint running horses, charging bison, and mysterious hand stencils, perhaps as rituals for successful hunts or to connect with the spirit world. This era was raw and precarious. The thrill of a successful mammoth kill feeding the group for weeks, the terror of a sudden storm or predator attack wiping out half the band. Resilience and cooperation were the true power. Isolation meant death. Curiosity flickered in those early minds, watching stars, experimenting with tools, burying the dead with care, laying the quiet foundations for all that would come.
As the last great ice age retreated around 12,000 BCE, warming temperatures and wetter conditions transformed landscapes, especially in the Fertile Crescent. Wild stands of wheat, barley, lentils, and chickpeas grew thickly. Observant foragers, often women, noticed that seeds dropped near camps sprouted the next season. Experimentation began, clearing patches, planting deliberately, weeding, harvesting with sickles of flint and bone. By 9,000 BCE, full domestication took hold. Plants grew larger seeds. Animals like goats, sheep, pigs, and cattle were tamed for milk, wool, meat, and draft power. Permanent villages appeared, round or rectangular mud brick houses with plastered floors, storage pits, and communal spaces. Populations exploded from a few million globally to tens of millions within millennia. Surplus food allowed specialization. Potters shaping clay vessels, weavers twisting fibers into cloth, builders erecting thicker walls. Yet this security came at a price. Farming demanded back-breaking labor from dawn to dusk. Diets narrowed, leading to dental decay, stunted growth, and nutritional diseases. Living in close proximity with animals invited new pathogens, measles, tuberculosis, influenza, spreading faster in settled groups than among nomads. Deforestation for fields and fuel eroded soils. Irrigation caused salinization in lowlands. Power shifted. Those who controlled stored grain or prime land gained authority, leading to the first chieftains and proto-elites. Ownership concepts emerged: land, livestock, tools, replacing fluid sharing with inheritance and inequality. Still, the revolution was transformative. It enabled the first cities, monumental architecture, and the leap toward complexity. Humanity traded endless wandering for rooted existence, freedom for predictability, and in doing so tied its fate irrevocably to the rhythms of the seasons and the health of the soil. By 3500 BCE, river valleys became crucibles of civilization. In Mesopotamia, the Tigris and Euphrates flooded unpredictably but deposited rich silt. People built levees, canals, and cities like Uruk and Ur. Egypt harnessed the predictable Nile inundation for pharaonic glory. The Indus Valley engineered grid-planned cities with sophisticated drainage. Along China's Yellow River, early dynasties organized labor for flood control. Writing emerged: cuneiform on clay in Sumer, hieroglyphs in Egypt, allowing record-keeping of taxes, laws, and epics like Gilgamesh, which wrestled with mortality and kingship. Bronze metallurgy produced stronger tools and weapons. Wheels, sails, and draft animals expanded trade. Massive public works rose: stepped ziggurats as cosmic mountains linking earth and heaven, pyramids as eternal tombs defying death. Rulers claimed divine status, supported by priesthoods and bureaucracies that collected grain taxes to feed armies and artisans. Yet complexity bred fragility. Irrigation overuse salinized fields, reducing yields. Competition for water and trade routes sparked wars with chariots and bronze spears. Social stratification deepened. Slaves and laborers toiled beneath elites feasting in palaces. Environmental strain and invasions toppled city-states, but each collapse scattered knowledge that later societies would rebuild upon. These cradles showed humanity's astonishing ability to organize on a massive scale, and the steep price when ambition outran ecological limits. From around 2000 BCE, larger political units emerged. Akkadians briefly unified Mesopotamia. Hittites mastered iron. The Persian Empire, under leaders like Cyrus, created the largest realm yet, with royal roads, satrapies, and tolerance for local customs. In the Mediterranean, Greek city-states experimented with democracy in Athens, while Sparta emphasized military discipline. Alexander's conquests spread Hellenistic culture across 3 continents. Rome, starting as a modest republic, built an empire of legions, aqueducts, concrete, and law that lasted centuries. In India, the Mauryans under Ashoka shifted from conquest to ethical rule, carving edicts on pillars. China's Qin and Han dynasties standardized weights, script, and bureaucracy, linking East and West via the Silk Road. Iron weapons, professional armies, and logistics enabled scale. Cultural fusion enriched art, science, and philosophy. But empires carried seeds of their own destruction. Overextension stretched resources, heavy taxation bred resentment, corruption weakened governance, and frontier pressures from nomadic groups mounted. Barbarian invasions, economic strain, and internal decay fractured Rome. Similar patterns repeated elsewhere. Empires connected the world, spreading ideas, goods, diseases, but demonstrated that even the mightiest dominions were temporary. Amid imperial turbulence, the Axial Age, roughly 800 to 200 BCE, brought profound introspection. In Greece, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle questioned reality, ethics, and governance in agoras and academies. In India, the Buddha and Mahavira taught paths to liberation from suffering through meditation and nonviolence. In China, Confucius stressed social harmony and moral government. Lao Tzu offered Taoist simplicity. In the Levant, prophets developed ethical monotheism. These ideas spread through trade, conquest, and missionary zeal. Buddhism along Silk Road, Christianity and Islam later reshaping continents. Early science appeared. Babylonian astronomers tracked planets, Egyptians refined geometry for building, Greeks pursued natural explanations over myth. Yet faith and reason often clashed with power. Thinkers were exiled, texts burned, heresies persecuted. Religions provided community, meaning, and moral frameworks, but also fueled wars and divisions. If this exploration of humanity's deepest questions moves you, please like and subscribe. Your support allows us to continue uncovering these timeless stories. After Rome's fall in the West, 476 CE, Europe fragmented into feudal kingdoms. Viking raids, Magyar incursions, and Muslim expansions created insecurity. Lords granted land to vassals in exchange for military service, while serfs worked the fields. Monasteries became islands of learning, preserving classical texts through painstaking copying. The church grew immensely powerful, crowning emperors and launching crusades to reclaim holy lands. Yet the era was not pure darkness. Agricultural innovations, three-field rotation, heavy plow, horse collar, boosted food production. Towns re-emerged, trade revived via Italian city-states and Hanseatic leagues. Gothic cathedrals soared with flying buttresses and stained glass, embodying faith's triumph over chaos. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351, killed 30 to 60% of Europe's population, disrupting feudalism and shifting power to labor. By the late Middle Ages, universities debated Aristotle and theology, setting the stage for Renaissance breakthroughs. This millennium of fragmentation paradoxically preserved and transformed knowledge for the modern age. By the 15th century, Ottoman control of eastern trade routes, combined with Renaissance curiosity and improved navigation, compass, astrolabe, caravel ships, drove Europe outward. Portugal mapped Africa's coast. Columbus reached the Americas in 1492. Spanish conquistadors, aided by steel, horses, and smallpox, toppled Aztec and Inca empires. The resulting Columbian exchange swapped crops, maize, potatoes to Old World, wheat, horses to New, but also unleashed catastrophe. Indigenous populations plummeted 90% in places. Atlantic slave trade forcibly moved millions from Africa to plantations. Silver from Potosi flooded global markets, fueling inflation and European wars. Exploration linked hemispheres, birthing globalization, but at immense human and ecological cost: genocide, slavery, environmental upheaval. Starting in 18th century Britain, steam power, mechanized textiles, and iron production sparked the Industrial Revolution. Factories replaced cottage industry. Railways and steamships shrank the world. Coal and fossil fuels unlocked unprecedented energy, driving urbanization. Cities swelled as rural poor sought factory work. Capitalism accelerated innovation. Inventors patented machines. Entrepreneurs built empires. Scientific advances, Darwin's theory, electricity, germ theory, reshaped understanding of life and health. Colonial empires peaked, extracting raw materials while imposing Western systems. Yet progress brought misery. Child labor, 16-hour days, polluted cities, class conflict. Labor unions and reforms slowly improved conditions. Industrialization lifted living standards long-term, but created stark inequality and environmental scars that persist today.
The 20th century was defined by extremes. 2 world wars killed over 100 million, unleashing atomic bombs and the Cold War. Decolonization redrew maps. Civil rights, feminist, and anti-apartheid movements challenged old hierarchies. Technological leaps
Transistors, internet, satellites, genomics connected humanity instantly and extended lifespans. Globalization lifted billions from poverty, but concentrated wealth and accelerated climate change through fossil fuel emissions. The digital age brought smartphones, social media, AI, tools of empowerment and surveillance. Crises multiplied, pandemics, financial collapses, rising authoritarianism, ecological tipping points. Yet cooperation persists. International Space Station, vaccine development, climate accords, showing humanity's capacity for collective action amid division. Looking back, a pattern emerges with haunting clarity. Civilizations rise through innovation, cooperation, and resource mastery. They grow complex, then fragile. Surplus enables specialization and art, but also hierarchy and inequality. Expansion secures borders, but overextends resources. Environmental strain, deforestation, soil depletion, climate shifts weakens foundations. Hubris blinds leaders to warning signs. Collapse follows, often violently, scattering survivors who carry fragments of knowledge forward. Yet each fall seeds renewal. Agriculture after nomadism, science after dogma, globalization after isolation. Today, we stand at the pinnacle. Nuclear power, genetic engineering, planetary-scale networks, yet face the same vulnerabilities amplified. The revelation that the journey's end, our greatest strength, the relentless drive to transcend limits, is also our deepest peril. The cycle is not destiny, it is a warning. Break it through foresight, restraint, and wisdom, or repeat history's tragic echoes into a future we may not survive. Humanity's story remains unfinished, still being written by the choices of every generation. Thank you for traveling through time with us. In the comments, share what surprised you most about our shared past and where you believe our future might lead.